What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Y'all already know who it is and what the fuck this is. Your boy Unkasa. Another episode of Unkasa True Hip Hop Stories, episode 8 to be exact. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for liking. Thank y'all for commenting. Thank y'all for viewing. Thank y'all for uh, coming to my platform and listen to some of these stories that I've been, that I've encountered over my years in the industry, which I'm still going through. So the stories is only going to get more better. Today's story is called The Rise and Fall of Scar Gang. So, this around the time where Els and Cam was going through their little thing. Jewels wasn't fucking with nothing that had to do with diplomats or nothing. He was still in the contract, waiting to get out the contract with Cam. And that day came. He finally got out the contract with Cam. So he was basically was ready to work, but he said he wanted to get his movement popping. You know what I'm saying? Before he jumped back into anything Joel Santana. Mind you, he had took a long hiatus from when he dropped his last album from With the Game Been Missing. So around '08, we was sitting down one day in his crib in Glen Point, and we was like, yo, we gotta come up with a name. We gotta come up with a name for the crew. We gotta put this shit together. And he was like, word. That's what the same thing I've been thinking. We gotta come up with a name. So at the time, it was like that rock star shit was going on heavy. You had Party Like a Rock Star out. You had everybody wearing the wallet chains. You had everybody wearing the antique jeans, the Ed Hardy shirts, the tight muscle shirts. Just the rock star look. Real gothic looking shade, shit like that. So the rock star era was in, so we thought we was rock star, so it's like, yo. And the skulls, we was wearing the BB Simon skull belts and all that, so that was real big. So I was like, yo, what if we do the Skull Gang? And he was like, yo, that shit is hard. But I said, yo, we gotta make Skull Gang be abbreviated, gotta mean something. So I was like, what you thinking? I was like, yo, what if we come up with like, what if we was Skull Gang, street kids united by loyalty and loot, goons and niggas getting it. Nigga else like, yo, that shit is hard. That shit is hard. Next thing you know, we came up with a pound, the sign of pinkies and thumbs. Now we got the idea of the Skull Gang. So we sitting at the studio and, we started the recording process. But at first it was just mainly me and Jewels. The recruiting process for the Skull Gang, who was going to be in the Skull Gang, like, it was just coming together like an easy puzzle. Richmond Rad is best friends with Twin, Jewel's brother. They went to college and played basketball together. So that's how Richmond Rad became a part of Skull Gang. But Rap was always around, and Rap wasn't even doing music at first. Rap was just getting to his money and shit, taking care of his kids. And then one day Rap said he started rapping. And then at first, he wasn't even all that good. But as time went on, Rap was getting nice about it. Every time I heard a new song, it was better and better and better and better and better and better than the last shit he did. So I was like, yo, we might as well pull Rap in. So I was just like, yeah, I fuck with Rap. You heard Rap new shit? I was like, yeah, I fuck with Rap shit. So we wanted to build a super crew that came from all angles. So Rap is from Richmond, Virginia. So we have rap for the South. Around this time, Slow Buck, shout out to Slow and Buck, shout out to my Queens niggas. Slow used to bring a lot of artists to the studio to rap for L's and shit. And he used to bring this rap group called Rich Fly G's from Queens. Consist of Yachty, shout out to Yachty, John Depp, and I forgot the other kid name. But for some reason, Els fell in love with John Depp. Like, John Depp would perform live and you'll think it's the record. Like, his voice was so clear and the shit that he was talking about, he had like the Drake lane because he can rap and he can sing. So Els was like, yo, yeah, I really fuck with that nigga Depp. I don't want to take him away from his crew, but I want him to be a part of the Skull Gang shit. So that's how John Depp came into play on that side. Shout out to my nigga Sugar J and Chubbs. Sugar J and Chubbs brung Star round, which was the female songstress of our crew. That came from Sugar J. She coming to the studio playing songs. Us brainstorming. All right, we're gonna pull in a girl. Els put me as the quarterback. I'm his right hand. So it's me, Star, Rab, and John Depp. That's Skull Gang. But we got other members of Skull Gang that's not actually the forefront, which is Reek Rose, shout to Reek, and De Niro. Tobe Cobain, Stevie Q the Great, which is the engineer. Now that's the family. Slow Bucks, that whole movement was birthed from Skull Gang. So when the Skull Gang shit slowed down, that's what birthed Slow Bucks. But we're gonna get into that later. But all right, now we got the crew together. We start recording. We recorded for like a year and a half. It was probably 07. I say around 07, going into 08. We got our deal in like 09. But for like a year and a half, we was just recording hundreds and hundreds of records. Me by myself, I would do 10 hooks a day, maybe 5 songs. Then you had Rab, then you had De Niro, then you had Star, then you had Reek. But for the most part, the starting 5 was the ones that was putting the music together. At that time, I might have been writing 70% of the concepts of the hooks for Skull Gang. I would be like the one that start the pace. I would lay the hook down, maybe my verse, or I might not even lay a rhyming verse. I might do a melodic hook and everybody else rap and do whatever they else gonna do. And that's how we always switched it around. Star might do a hook, Rap might do a hook, De Niro might do a hook, whoever. But that's how we put our songs together. Now, we did hundreds of songs, but only very few of them made the Skull Gang mixtape, which was the Takeover mixtape. We did the Takeover mixtape from songs that was done over the year and a half. A lot of the Skull Gang forefront songs was originally my songs, like Aggie, Body Like a Maserati, Those are the songs that I kind of contributed to the Skull Gang mixtape, among others. But those is the forefront records that everybody knows from. Those was originally my records, which I converted to a crew record. So we worked on the Skull Gang mixtape. At this time, everybody was bringing us beats. Dangerous LLC, anybody you can name, Chink Santana, anybody you can name was coming to that Skull Gang studio, dropping off heat. I mean heat on top of heat on top of heat. All we was doing, it got to a point where we was recording so much music that Juelz had to build a shower in the basement because he couldn't take niggas stink ass feet all the time and underarms woofing like that. We used to go in there for we won't leave for 7 days. You and being there smoking, sweating, recording. He was like, nah, I'm building a shower. Y'all stink ass niggas gotta get in the shower because yeah, y'all niggas don't like to leave the studio. And this is a good thing, so we just gonna make music. So, like I said, we recorded hundreds of songs, very few songs made the album. So, like I said, everybody that had heat in '09, they was dropping off beats. We was killing them shits. It was getting time to where we was me and Els was writing the treatments, getting the treatments for our commercials and videos, because this is when World Star was first popping, and we had the inside with World Star. We, Jordan Towers would come to the studio every fucking day. Jordan Towers shot in between Jordan Towers and Scenario, shout out to Scenario, was shooting all the Skull Gang videos. And we was just coming, sometimes, like I said, we have 24-hour video shoots sometimes, shooting 3 videos. All those videos, Body Like a Maserati, Aggie, Drama Fold, all those the remixes, we was doing those shits like in one day, like 4 hours on this video, 4 hours on that video, 4 hours on that video, 4 hours in that video. During that period, that's the first time Amber Rose was one of the video girls. This when she used to wear the blonde wig. So, like I said, we got the whole mixtape together. Now it's time to put out the visuals. We got Jordan Tower, we got Scenario, we got the best ideas. We executed everything we need to do. We put out this Skull Gang mixtape. This shit downloaded 1 million downloads on every site that we dropped that shit on in like 2-3 days. Then you got DJs picking up records off the mixtape like Aggie and Body Like a Maserati. Now they playing those on their mix shows. That Skull Gang mixtape spread it like wildfire. Wildfire. We dropped it on 9/11, 09, 9/11. September 11th, 2009, we dropped that mixtape. Now, we dropped the mixtape. We dropped the videos every week. We dropping at least 2 videos on World Star. Commercials and videos. We dropping them full length. Send them like cinema type shit. Dropping them shits every week. We getting a million streams on those. Off top, first day 200, 300,000. Next 2 days, million streams on videos. Now, everybody and their mama that year came to that studio. Busta Rhymes, Waka Flocka, Diddy. It wasn't a motherfucker when Skull Gang was hot, didn't come to that studio to come see what we was doing. So now we got the mixtape out. Shit buzzing through the streets. We in every club. We on all websites. We got the tape out. That shit selling wow units, hard copy. We doing little walkthroughs. Next thing I know, Jewels get a call from Koch Records. They want to give me a record deal because Els played a lot of my music when he went up there previously. Now, they gave us two options. I can do my solo deal, or we can do a Skull Gang deal. We got Skull Gang popping right now, so why would I be selfish and not take the Skull Gang deal? I put my deal, solo deal to the side, and I did the Skull Gang deal. Mind you, I was still in a recording deal with Baby Grand / Purple City. So now this shit's spreading like wildfire. The mixtape got us hot enough to where Koch wanted to give us a one-off deal. We did the deal. We was ready because we knew we had an asshole full of music. We had at least 300-400 songs. So it's time to turn in the album. We already know we got an album. We got a new album already done. But it was only one thing. Jewels didn't record his verses for the new music. He was going through something in his life. He was going through a transition in his life to where it didn't have him. It had him in a space where he wasn't active or recording. Mind you, like I said, we had 400 songs recorded, hooks, niggas put their verses, everything was ready, but Jewels didn't put his verses on it. So you know what Koch did? Koch wound up taking one of the songs we did with Lil Wayne, re-put out the previous mixtape we got the buzz off of anyway, and put that out as the Skull Gang album. So the fans never got to hear none of the music that we had for the album. We had wild shit. We had joints with Wayne on it. We had joints with who we didn't do a song with, man. It's crazy. So the world never got to hear the real Skull Gang album. They re-put the album out with a commercial on TV. And when the album came out, the fans was disappointed because they already had that tape from when we put it out. So we was disappointed. I didn't even show up to the press day. I was so upset. Mind you, I didn't get paid for the Skull Gang album. My portion of my money had to go to Purple City and to Baby Grand to get me out my contract. So everybody else in the Skull Gang probably got 10 bands. I put in wild work on an album, all those hours in the studio, all those hours taping videos, and I wound up not getting a dime because the money that I would have received had to go to my other record deal. So that whole time the Skull Gang shit was popping and we was running around, I was fucked up. I was still in the streets hustling. I was fucked up because I didn't get no money from the Skull Gang deal. So that shit had a nigga like I wanted to just quit this music shit because I was just like, yo, damn, nigga put in all this fucking work. I turned down my new record deal, my solo deal with Koch to do the Skull Gang shit. This shit wound up backfiring in my face because I'm already in a contract from a deal that I didn't want to be a part of no more because I felt like I didn't know what was going on with my Purple City deal. So that's why I left. It wasn't shice. It was more baby grin because they was making moves that was over niggas' heads. And those shits it wasn't including me. That's kind of how Purple City broke up. But we'll get into that in another story. But they wound up putting the Skull Gang mixtape out again. Same songs, but only one song was new. That was the little Wayne song, which was Make Love Like a Rock Star, which was my song that niggas took me off of, put Wayne on, and put it on the album. Make Love Like a Rock Star was my record. I wanted to do a duet with Star. Star wound up getting on the song and persuade to Els to make it her record. So they took my record, made it a whole R&B song, threw Lil Wayne on it, and put it out. I ain't gonna lie. I was so tight, because I was like, how the fuck niggas gonna just take my record and just turn it to something else? First of all, I picked the beat. It was one of my producers from out of town sent me the beat, and I was just like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take this one for the team. So the song Make Love Like a Rock Star was on the Skull Gang album that they put out in stores, was my song, but they took me off, put Lil Wayne on it, and put it out with Star. The only thing they kept on the song that was mine was my ad-libs. All right. Meanwhile, the album not doing well. Els is in his funk, that whatever he's going through in his life. Everybody that's popping now from the gang, they think they popping, so niggas ain't coming to the studio. Niggas just doing whatever the fuck they want. Shit slowed up. Now, mind you, previously with the Skull Gang run, Els put Star on. This is when Lil Wayne is scorching hot. Wayne was doing songs for Skull Gang the day he went platinum. The day he went platinum with a Millie from that album, that Carter album, he sent the Skull Gang record back in less than a half an hour. We sent them a feature. I'm talking about Wayne was scorching fucking hot. This is Lil Wayne, a Millie Lollipop album. Like, yo, my nigga, he was scorching hot, and he was sending records back to Skull Gang. We had like 4 or 5 records with Skull Gang. Star by herself had 2 or 3 records with Wayne. When shit slowed down, Star was the first to leave. Star she got exposure. They threw her on Christmas albums. She was on videos on MTV. She was the first to leave the game. She was the first one to jump shit. What person you know is with a crew a whole 12 months, get a deal, get money, get exposure, and do 2 to 3 records with Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne is scorching hot, and then you turn your back on this when you don't feel like stuff is going your way? The truth was, Star had a crush on Jewels. Jewels didn't like Star like that. Everybody looked at Star as the sis. She was Before she even met Joel, she had a drop dead, gorgeous crush on this nigga. She was in love with him. And that kind of, you know, pushed Els back like, yo, shorty, this is business. And you already know I got my lady and my kid. I'm this that's not me and you. I don't like you like that. So mixed with however she's feeling, it ain't her, the game ain't moving fast enough for her, or he's not fucking with her on some boyfriend girlfriend shit. It was never like that. Els never liked her. So she took some emotional shit and used it and told her moms and her sister like she wanted to get out the deal, and Els ain't doing this for her. What Els didn't do for you? You got shit done. You got me taken off my own record that everybody know Wayne was gonna get on, and you complaining about what? You complaining about doing records with Wayne when he's at his top, when he's at his pinnacle? I dare her. So she wound up leaving the crew first. Mind you, she got her advance. She got Wayne. She got videos with Lil Wayne. She got music with Lil Wayne. She got music with me. She got music with the Hogan, with Jewels. Put her on the radio. He put out a single on her. Was going to get her teeth fixed. And this is not dissing Star because that's my sis, but I'm just telling y'all the story. So we all sitting back. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is she complaining for? But it was because Els didn't like her on some, on some intimate shit. Els kept it business, and Els was never attracted to Star. She's always been a fan of Jewel since she was young. So when she got to work with him, she thought, oh, watch, I'm going to get him, but it never worked out like that. So that's basically the reason why Star left. Els wasn't feeling her on no boyfriend, on I'm trying to fuck you or nothing. We keeping this business. You can sing and write your ass off. That's that. You are a little sis. You the queen of the crew. That's it. So Star left. After Star left, our engineer, everybody got money from the deal. Nobody gave Steve nothing. The engineer's the one that make everything sound good, everything move. He's really the boss of the crew. Steve, he's really the top artist of the crew. Why? Because he controlled the sound. He makes sure everybody voices homogenized together to make that Skull Gang sound. He didn't get a dime for the Skull Gang album. Didn't get nothing. Everybody got their money and shopped and traveled and stuff like that. I remember coming in the studio on Christmas Eve, coming in the studio, and Steve like, yo, everybody went to Miami. I'm like, well, he said, yeah, I'm in the studio. Steve ain't have no money to eat or nothing. I brought him Christmas food from my crib and stayed in the studio with Steve. I ain't have no money to give Steve. Because remember, I ain't get no advance because I had to pay back to get out my other deal. So I couldn't give Steve nothing. Everybody that got money didn't give Steve a dime. And he was the engineer. So shout out to Steve. But that's basically what happened with the Skull Gang crew. Now, our studio got raided. Allegedly, they found 15 guns in the Skull Gang studio, something around that figure. Nobody was there. Only person that was there was my man Tobe, and he had, because the alarm went off in the studio, so he had to go turn the alarm off. But when he went to turn the alarm off. The police came, ran in there, and whatever they allegedly found, they found. We was on high alert after that. Nobody was charged with no weapons or nothing like that. Around the Skull Gang time, a lot of people was doing a lot of activity that wasn't fit for the studio atmosphere. People began selling weed to outsiders outside the studio. And the studio wound up getting raided again. My man Hanif of the Skull Gang crew, he was another member that wasn't a star in 5, but he was a member of the Skull Gang. He from Queens. He was in there when they raided the crib, because, you know, niggas, like I said, at that time, a lot of people lived in the studio, so when they raided the studio, he got locked up. He was held for like probably a month until he got bail. They found another gun in the studio that was actually Johnny G. Adrian. Rest in peace to Johnny. He was the guy that was doing the skits on the Skull Gang album. He died in the studio from like a heart attack or like alcohol poisoning, something of that matter, where he stopped breathing and he collapsed in the studio. About time he got to the hospital, maybe 7 blocks up from the studio, he died. So they found the gun that he had stashed in there, and some weed. It was an indictment from people selling weed out the studio. It was a lot of activity that I really didn't know what was going on, and I'm pretty sure Jewels didn't even know what was going on, because for a while Jewel stopped coming to the studio when Steve stopped coming around. So when Steve stopped coming around, it was no reason to go to the studio because we can't get nothing recorded. Nobody knew how to record. So studio got raided. They padlocked our shit. Johnny G. Adrian dies in the studio. And right there, it's all bad. Jewels finally get the padlock off the studio. Niggas gotta move out the shit. And that was kinda like the end of the Skull Gang shit. Everybody was like, Star was gone, Steve was gone. You know, Depp was still around, but he was still like doing him. And then that's how the birth of Slow Buck started. Cause everybody that was around us was Skull Gang, but when the shit slowed up, everybody was like, yo, we gonna take this momentum we got from Skull Gang, we gonna start this Slow Buck shit. And that's what happened. But for everybody I was asking about what happened to Skull Gang, that's basically what happened. Everybody I'm still cool with. Richmond Rap, Jewels, Star, Depp, everybody from the Skull Gang. It's my family, but I'm just telling you the stories and from my perspective, how I see it from what happened. And it comes from getting fame. Fame will fuck you up, getting fame quick. We had regular nobodies, and not calling them nobody, but you take a regular nobody that has talent, displays talent, they get recognition, you get fame for it, and then it just puts you in a lane like you made it. Like I remember when it got to a point where niggas thought we made it, we ain't even have a deal yet. You know what I'm saying? And I blame everybody. Everybody had to play in it ego-wise. That's why I be trying to stay away from egotistic motherfuckers and motherfuckers that's not loyal to the movement of in the perspective of what we trying to do. But yeah, that's the story of the Skull Gang. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Yeah, I had to give y'all this story, and Until next time, roll some, smoke some, share something, like something. Your boy, I'm out.